Okay. Um, Hello and welcome, guys, to another interesting edition of our Lockdown TV 2.0. Today, we'll be having a very wonderful chat with Ané Retief, who represents the Free State Crinums, and she does play goalkeeper. Hello to you, Ané. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
You look so chill, chilling in your room. Is it your room? Are you in your room?
Yes, I am in my room. I am very chill at the moment.
Alrighty then. Just before we start with the interview, I think let's just play a quick game, and obviously that will give us some sort of an idea of what you like, and also an insight of the kind of person that you are. So I'm gonna start timing you. We only have 60 seconds, so you need to answer these questions as quickly as possible. Okay. And the clock starts now. Alrighty, your favorite dish?
Steak.
Favorite drink?
Yeah. That would be juice, like orange juice.
Mm-hmm. Favorite position on the netball court?
Goalkeeper.
Favorite sports besides netball?
I do love basketball.
Most memorable moment?
That would be on court when it's kind of a bit of a long story, but in short, we made a huge comeback, and it was in the Telkom League actually. Huge comeback we made in the semi-final against the Five Balls. That was quite a moment on court.
Most scariest moment?
Anything that has snakes with it is a scary moment to me.
10 seconds. Favorite holiday destination?
The farm.
There you go. And our time is up. Very interesting answers, I must say. Steak. So you love
meat? I love meat and I love steak, and I'm very picky about my steak, just by the way. But yeah, good piece of steak is my ultimate favorite.
But most people would think that netball players are very disciplined when it comes to their diets. Are you very strict when it comes to that, or are you one of those lucky ones who eat anything and just you don't gain weight at all?
No, I just eat anything and train very hard.
Okay, it's all about balancing, I guess.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your netball career. When did it start? Where did it start? And how did you fall in love with the sport?
So basically, I've been playing netball since I was grade 1, grade R, as soon as you can possibly start. I started in the Eastern Cape. So I lived in East London. So I grew up also until about 12 years old. Then we moved to Bloemfontein, where I started playing at primary school of Figaro Park. And yes, played there for 2 years in the primary school. Then I moved up to the high school, and I finished my career out through the high school. But I mean, since a little girl, I've always been playing with balls and having fun, and never really knowing that I'd go this far with netball or play at a high level. It, to me, was just about having fun, competing with your friends, and just seeing what you can do everything on court.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, obviously, when you start a sport, especially with netball, right, height is very different. I mean, you started at a very young age. Let's say you were probably short, and they'd put you at wing attack. Were you a goalkeeper from start to finish, or did you play different positions as well?
No, I actually used to be very short in comparison with my teammates. It was, I think, when I came to high school that all of a sudden in a month time over the vacation, I just shot out and got this massive length. Mm-hmm. But no, I used to play center, actually. I was very fast. And then as I aged, I went over to goal attack and shooter, playing goal attack and shooter like in grade 6, 7, 8. And then when I started in grade 10, I got called up elected for the first team, and then they moved me from the shooting side to the defensive side, and that was actually the first time that I started playing goalkeeper. And ever since grade 10, I mean, that position just stuck to me, and since then I've been goalkeeper, goal defense. So yeah, I've turned into a defender ever since then.
Yeah. And when did your netball career start looking up? When did you start playing for provincial? Did you only play netball growing up, or were there other sporting codes that you actually participated in?
No, I participated in swimming because I was living in the Eastern Cape. I mean, every single school basically they had a swimming pool. So I loved swimming. I was in the pool every single day and most of the hours of the day. If we weren't at swimming training itself, we went home, me and my sister, and we would just swim just for fun and be in the water. So swimming was definitely something that we loved. And I actually went to essays on that when I was, I think, grade 5 or 6. So I was quite the swimmer. I also did athletics, like discus throw and javelin, yeah. Up until grade 10, 11, I did that also at Free State level, everything. So, yeah, I even tried out hockey, but that was only for a year because the sticks are a bit too small or a bit short for my length. So, yeah, not a big hockey fan. My shins don't like to be blue. So, but yeah, as for the netball, I've been playing netball since I was very little, and that just stick through. And it, like, the provincial level actually started, I think grade 6 is the first time that you can like start playing provincial teams, and I've been since grade 6 throughout until matric, until now after school, that I've been representing the Free State.
Yeah, very interesting. Let's talk about your most memorable moment. Obviously, you didn't have time to elaborate, and explain further. But tell us more about that, and how did it become your most memorable moment? Like, what made it that, that thing that you'll never forget?
Yeah. So actually, when you asked me that question, there was like 1,000 of moments that flashed through my head.
Yeah.
Because there's so many great moments on court and so many things that you can take forever with you that I'll never forget. But specifically the one that I mentioned, I want to correct myself. I think it was against the Flames. It wasn't against the Fireballs. It was against the Flames, that we were behind halftime, like the 14 points. And I always say, like, when we fall behind or whatever, I always joke, like a training or something, and I say, no, I believe in a comeback, because I do. So even when we were 14 points behind and it's in a serious competition, everything, we just say to each other, listen, we believe in a comeback. Like, it's not impossible. Anything is possible. We can still do this. Even if it's 14 or 20 points behind, why not give it a try? So yeah, it was just a very memorable moment, how all the players just at some point just came together. We said, this is it, we're turning this thing around, and it all just happened. Like in many games, the same thing happened. When you come together and you say, we're going to turn this thing around, and it just doesn't go that way. So when the play actually fell into our place, and we got to turn it around, and we got on this high, and we just kept climbing and climbing and didn't stop. It was just, it's a memorable moment of teamwork. I mean, that's ultimately teamwork. It wasn't, okay, I'm having a great game now, so I'm doing good. It's everybody just stepped up to 6 levels higher in a few seconds. So yeah, it's memorable to have a moment like that with teammates that you love so much. And yeah, it's something it's gonna stick.
And the level of mental strength that is needed, because I mean, with sports or netball players in general, you guys are very competitive, and obviously it's very heartbreaking when you are behind by like 14 points. It's just like, okay, but for you guys to be able to be like, we can still come back, and it actually happens, that's very motivating, because then for every single game, you can actually use that, even when you are losing. It's just like, this team, don't think because they are losing, you think, the game is done. This is far from over, So it's very cool to have that as well. And favorite holiday destination, farm?
Yes. So my grandma and grandpa lives on a farm. And ever since I've been this little girl, it's always, every single vacation, I'd be on the farm. I'd be so tanned when I come back, because I'm all in the sun every single day, out in the field. Yeah, I love being outdoors. And my cousins are also on the farm. So it's always like this huge fun time of everybody just having fun. We catching fish, we in the field, we on the bikes, we making my grandma angry, eating all the food, everything. So it's just always been the best of times being on the farm, and especially when you have like close friends and family, or even nice friends and so with you there. It's always this amazing time just being out in nature and just being able to enjoy it with no work or no responsibilities. It's just fun and free and open.
You look like a very free-spirited person, someone who's very chilled, who exude positive energy. Tell us about the type of netball player you are in your team, your character and the role that you play in your team.
Okay, so basically I am very a positive person. I don't like being upset or being grumpy or being whatever, like usually if I have a bad day, you won't even realize it, because I personally believe that if you're going to look into that or watch, or if it's going to be like a mind block, you just see, okay, no, this bad day, everything, then it's all going to be the only thing that you see. So a lot of times, especially when I come to netball, I feel like just shake this day off and have fun with your friends and your teammates and everything. So no, I'm quite a positive energy, and I like to make jokes and have fun and just make someone else smile. Like, especially if there's someone who has a bad day, then I would specifically go and just, are you fine or whatever, try and make a little joke. Yeah, just see if I can pull a smile out of them. And if I see if it's too much, then I'll leave them. But I mean, just to get a little bit smile out of there. So yeah, I'm quite the positive energy also. I don't like when something gets me under. So I'd rather like shake it off, you like, and just handle it, obviously, but I won't let it get me down. So rather just step up out of it. Yeah.
And how do you deal with having a bad day at the office? I'm sure you can be as the most bubbliest person ever, but even the bubbliest person in the team also has her days where she's feeling down. How do you get over that?
So usually if that happens, I isolate a bit. I would do my own thing, be on my own, be a little bit in my own world. And in all honesty, it would be, yes, I'm privileged to be in a team where my teammates would then come to me and like, tell me, what's up? Are you okay? And then they would just start provoking me to start smiling again. And so, but as for handling a tough day or a rough day, it's also a very mental thing. It's like making a mental switch and saying, I can either let this get me down and worry about this now and break my head about this now, or I can just take a breath and just know everything is going to be fine, because I mean, we serve an amazing God, and I mean, he's my source of energy and my source of knowing that everything is going to be okay. So then just take a breath and just decide, like, just don't worry about it right now, or don't let it break your brain. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is so big that you can't overcome it. So you're just getting yourself back in the right mental state of, don't kill yourself. It's not the end of the world.
True.
So yeah.
True. Tell us about how you started playing in the TNL, your journey, how it started, how you found out about trials, what happened, challenges faced, and so forth.
Okay, so my sister, Ané Retief, or Gertjie as most people know, also played for the Crinums and the Free State and everything. And it's actually via her that I found out when she went to university, she started playing at the Kovsies and the Crinums. And I actually then only opened my eyes up and saw, okay, there is something like a Crinums in SO. But so that is kind of how I was intrigued. I mean, she did it, so I also wanted to play netball. Also went to, I was going to Kovsies anyway because I live in Bloemfontein. But that's how I got to hear from the trials and things. So I started at Kovsies. I started in my first year playing for the TNL. I was privileged enough for that. And ever since first year, I've been.
What year was that?
That was 2017. Yeah, 2017. I was playing first year. So I'm now at my fifth year. That we're going to play Telkom League, and every single year it's just been getting more fun, more competitive, and just so much better. Because when you start your first year, you feel like you're not really part of this team. You're just like a little first year. You're not as skilled as these people. You're just actually trying to keep your head above water. And then in every single year, I can feel like, okay, I'm like genuinely competing now. I'm giving these people a hard time now, like opponents and everything. I'm definitely on this level. I'm understand. So it's been amazing just seeing how my netball has progressed throughout this. And I mean, I'm a coach at Hoërskool Park as well. Nice. I'm currently coaching the first team there, and you can see the massive gap from school level to university level. And then I think, like, damn, I also played like this level of netball, and looking at the level of netball I'm playing now, it's amazing to think in 5 years or 4 or 5 years that's what you can do with your body if you're going to work. So yeah,
it's way different. I mean, you mentioned the fact that you joined the Free State Crinums in 2017, and looking at the stats and history, they've won the Telkom Netball League 3 times already, 2014, 15, 16. But I just want you to tell me more about the pressure, Obviously, I mean, having to join in 2017 and all of a sudden the team is not winning, Tell us more about the pressure, how the team is feeling, because you guys are always, it's like, you're so close, but yet so far.
Yeah. I've always made this joke, like as soon as I join a team, we're not winning. And because ever since I've been on school, I've always been in that team that's just just a little bit, just need that little bit of it. And then we went, then I came to Crinums, and they had the 3-year streak of winning. I'm like, okay, fine, this is it. I'm in a great team now. We're going to win now.
Yeah.
And then strike 2017, and we got like 5th, and like, oh my goodness, I'm genuine, like the bad thing in the team maybe. But it's just a little side joke. But either way, no, I mean, starting there, when we started 5th, I think the year after that we ended 4th, and then 3rd, and then this year 2nd. So next year it's definitely, or this year it's going to be 1st. So we've been building up. But either way, no, it's been tremendous pressure, especially from like the coach's side, or the senior players who's been with the win and everything, because I mean they've been wanting the same thing. But in all honesty, we throughout these years, we decided that was their legacy. They made the 3 wins. We're starting a new legacy. So we started under as a young team or whatever, and we work hard, we build, we're going to get up. And it's true, like you said, it always feels like we're there. We just need that little bit of something. And especially like for last year, our motto at Crinums was more. That was the team's motto. So more in the sense of, with everything that you do, just do that little bit more, because that's all we need. We just need that little bit more. If it's in a training, if it's getting up in the morning for the gym, whether it's taking that one more step just to get the intercept. That was our entire theme for the year, of just giving that little bit extra, that little bit more, just to get to the breakthrough, or just to get to the goal. Because I mean, that's obviously what we're working for. We're working for the goal. So yeah, but it has been a lot of pressure on us, but we completely made it a positive pressure of, it's not pressure like we have to perform like they did. It's pressure of, let's set our own and our new legacy, and we fill that up, and we write our own story.
You seem to have learned a lot from the sport, which is netball, and I love the fact that you are a netball coach and coaching the first team, and you already can see, the difference and the level of play between school level and obviously provincial level. What is it that you are teaching your kids now? Your first team kids now, that's something they can use, and when they're there, when they're where you are right now, when they look back, they're like, yo, actually, coach, this is what she was talking about, and I'm so glad she instilled this in us.
There's so many tactical things that you teach them, like sports, but like netball specific now, and I love tactical things about netball, but apart from that, what I really like to learn them is, what I've learned is how tremendous work ethic is. If you have to put in the work ethic. Also, you have to play smart. Like, there's a lot of things that helps with netball, but if it's a main thing I'm trying to get over to them, it's work ethic, putting a high work rate. And then also it's being mentally strong, in the sense of don't have mental blocks, because a lot of people, they'd say to you like, okay, you're a defender, you can't play center because you'd be way too clumsy to play center. And I hate that. Don't give me like a stigma that says you can't do this, because then I'm going to show you I can do it, because that is what sport's about. It's about competing, not just against opponents, but also against yourself, in like improving yourself and improving your own skills. So that's what I'm trying to teach them, is not to restrict their minds to, I can't do this, or I can't play as good as that. Like, you can do whatever you want. You can be so much different, or you can go so much higher if you just believe in yourself and not wait for someone else to believe in you and like, okay, Jana, you're good enough to play center, so you can play center now. You need to have that like belief in your head by yourself, like, I am good enough, even though I'm tall or whatever. If I want to play center, I'm going to play center. So that's what I'm trying to get over to them. It's not, don't stick to the norm, like try and go outside the box, try and go, well, like work double times hard or whatever. And that's when you're going to get the results you're truly looking for.
Sure, that is so well said. But I want to ask you, what advice do you have for young kids, as much as you've just mentioned now, who actually want to play the sports? Because also something that's very discouraging is most people would say, but there's no money in netball, so why are you even doing it, So in terms of also including those kind of perspectives, what advice do you have for kids who actually want to pursue the sports? And it even doesn't have to be on court as well. You can be behind the scenes, but still be part of the sporting code.
Yeah. No, if it's like, for instance, if you say like, if people don't want to do it because there's no money in it or whatever, I'd say you have the complete wrong mental look at it. Because, for instance, when I became my first year, and I was at Coach Bertha de Kok, she asked me, Nike, do you want to be a Protea player someday? Because I can help you. We can make you one. And I thought, but this is like, the Protea and everything was new to me, and Crinums was new to me. And I was like, Nah, yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, obviously, but it's not the main goal. The main goal is not to someday. Obviously, it'd be amazing to present your country or represent your country, but the main goal for me is to play netball and to be the ultimate best that I possibly can be. Like I want to someday be known or recognized or whatever, remembered as one of the best defenders that South Africa's ever had. And yes, obviously you have to play Pretorius and so to get to that stand. But I mean, even just with the Telkom League, when you get a message and people say, yo, you did a good job, or you're this a great defender, whatever. I mean, that is what I strive to be. I strive to inspire other people by playing good and quality netball. And that is what it's about to me, is being like the best, not necessarily having to be in the greatest teams or playing overseas or whatever, but for the people locally in South Africa to inspire them. Like you said, now people who say, yo, they maybe don't want to play because there's no money or whatever. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about you get up every single morning, because I mean, if you're not going to get paid, then you're not going to get up in the morning and go to the gym. So it shouldn't be about that. It should be about going with the team and going with the teammates. And like you said, I've learned so much through netball. So no prize or no money can put a prize on that. I mean, it's such a learning experience in life. Even I remember one of my lecturers, when we were studying for a test, and there's so little time to study, and all the students has already studied so much, but me and my one friend who's at the netball, we've had a limited time to study. And he said, yeah, no, but it's okay, sport people, they can handle stress, they know how to handle stress. So you learn so much more through the sport and through the teammates. Like me, yeah, you can't put a price on it. So there's so much more in netball than just the game or just the prize or whatever.
And how long are we going to see you? People are probably wondering. I mean, you, like you said, you started playing in 2017. How long do you still want to play? For as long as possible, or are there also other things on the side that you actually do?
No, netball is going to be the career. That's what I'm aiming for. Now, I want to play for quite a long time. I'd love to make my debut at the Pretorius team someday. I'd love to go play overseas and get a bit of exposure and see what I can do there. I mean, that's all a dream. I mean, if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. Then I have alternatives. But obviously, I'm in the coaching right at the moment as well, with studying sports coaching. So I'm aiming to go full sportswoman. I want to play for a couple more years until the body starts saying, okay, whoa. So, yeah, no, I'm still, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm going to be around for quite some time still.
And which netball player do you actually look up to? Like, who's your role model?
There's two. I definitely look up to Karla, Pretorius, and to Khanyisa, Chawane. I mean, never mind the fact that they're both Free State players. I mean, that's not that. And like, for instance, like Karla is not, okay, she's known as the world's best, but that's not why she's also one of my favorite. The reason being, she, like when Karla defends or when she takes intercept, she doesn't take your obvious intercept. She takes all these little nifty ones, the things she didn't think, oh my goodness, can you intercept the ball like that? So when I watch her play, it's really inspiring. Like, I never even thought about doing that or something. And that is what I love about her. Even with Casey doesn't play your average wing attack center type of style. Yeah, she does the basics of being wing attack and so, but there's a lot of different things or little niggles that she changes up. That is new or that's different that I haven't seen any other wing attack do before. So that is why they are the two main netball players that inspire me, because they kind of trigger me to also think outside the box. Even when I coach, I coach the things that I see Casey do or that I see Karla do, and I say or tell the kids, like, I know this is the norm, but try and do this or try and do something different or whatever. So yeah, that's really why they're two of my favorite players.
And lastly, just before we wrap up the interview, looking at the standard of netball and obviously TNL, and I always refer to TNL because, I mean, it was unprecedented times. It's still unprecedented times in terms of just adjusting to the new norm, be playing in a bubble, not having enough time to actually train, and be with your team. But the level of competition, that we actually saw was just on par, so do you think we're well on our way in doing well with netball, especially building up to 2023? And I want you to to give me your view as a netball coach?
I definitely think so. I mean, I've been listening to some previous players or older players and how they said how much more exposure and like word out there it is in the like in netball like lately in comparison to when they were playing. It was a very like silent and nobody really knew. It wasn't on the TV, everything. So no, but aside from that, I think also that netball has become a lot more. I think the quality of netball that South Africa plays has climbed tremendously. And I think the drive to improve and to be stronger and to compete against international and not just compete, but actually be able to win. I think that drive and that hunger is so much more now because I mean we've been playing against England and Australia, and it's no longer like a 15 or 20 point gap. There's 2 or 4 points or maybe even a tie or whatever. And I think that's very inspiring also for younger players, for the older players to come through and to work harder. So I definitely think we're on an upwards climb to 2023. And I think that like the coaches are really going through trouble to get younger players working on a President 12 team, opening up or making more players play in the TNL with having 2 divisions and everything to get more players, more development, boost the overall quality of South African netball. So Joanna, I think we're on a very good curve on our way to 2023. And I also think that, I don't think the other teams would underestimate our team. Because we're going to be hosting. We're going to be hosting. And like I said, it's a mental thing. If you believe, I genuinely believe in my heart, like if you believe with everything in your mind, in your body, that something is possible, then it is possible. If the team could be in such a state where they completely believe we're winning this World Cup and there's no doubt in their bodies, then I mean, what's going to stop them?
True. You're actually right, hey, because I was speaking to NSA President, Ms. Cecilia Molekwane, and she was just saying that the main priority for the organization is just giving players more game time. And of course, if players get more game time, obviously a whole lot of talent is unearthed, a whole lot of players are actually discovered, and that's what we need building up to 2023. So I agree with you. We are doing well in terms of just preparing for 2023. We're on the right track as well. But thank you so much, Ané, for having a chat with me. You're such a lovely person and very wise as well. And of course, we cannot wait to see the Free State Crinums, being crowned the champions again when you are part of the team as well. So yeah, I wish you all the best, man.
Thank you so much. So good time for you as well. And looking forward to showing you some quality netball on court someday or soon. So yeah.
Definitely.